hot in here. We brought coolers. Matt Villardo in the polka dot in the shirt right there. Ask him and Brian to go get the coolers of water out of my truck, or at least one cooler.
gentleman I'm about to introduce. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a vet, Coast Guard vet, he's a lawyer, he's a Citadel grad, he's all about Charleston. So why not him take the next step to encourage us and help us get over this hump that we're dealing with? And I don't want to say much more because he's gonna come out here and do his thing. So Matt, please come and entertain us.
Good afternoon. And thank you all for being here. I want to give a special thank you to the First Baptist Church of James Island, Pastor Murray, for allowing us to be in this space for this announcement. I'd like to thank my family, to my father, Bill, my mother, Robin, and my wife and young son, William, wife, Caroline. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Victor. And thank you to all you, my friends, for being here for this announcement, for the kickoff of this campaign. My name is Matt Deford. I'm a veteran. I'm an attorney, a husband, and a father. And today I've officially announced my candidacy to represent all of you in the 1st Congressional District for South Carolina. I didn't grow up wanting to be in politics. I was raised to believe, though, that if you care about your community, if you care about your country, then you serve it. And to me, public service should transcend the divisive politics that we see today. And so we need more of public service in public office. I first knew I would be involved in public service when I was in the 7th grade. It was a September day, and as I walked into math class, I saw the images that many of you saw on the TV screens. Planes that had struck the World Trade Center, families broken in the blink of an eye, our country under attack, and I remember thinking of my father, who was an airline pilot, flying in the air that day. And I remember my mother coming home from work in tears because just a few years ago, she was a United flight attendant and had flown United 93 flight frequently. But I also saw the amazing strength of our country. Strangers helping each other, brave first responders rushing toward the danger to help people they didn't know. And I told myself that I would do something with my life to help others. So after high school, at the age of 18, I enlisted in the U.S. Coast Guard, where I served as a federal law enforcement officer and search and rescue crewman, where I had the honor of serving alongside some of the best men and women that our country has to offer. Perhaps the greatest moment of my service was a December night in 2010. We were called out roughly 17 miles offshore to rescue a stroke victim on a cruise ship, an elderly one. And after treacherous seas of getting out there and getting her back and denied helicopter medevac requests, we got her safely back to shore. And I was very proud of my crew for what we were able to accomplish in being a light in that individual's darkest moment. And so that experience helped shape my character. It grounded me in a truth that I've carried with me ever since. That real service isn't about seeking attention. This rescue was never in the news. It's about taking responsibility. It's about doing the right thing and doing the work and accomplishing the mission for the people you are called upon to serve. After my military service, I attended the Citadel. I earned my law degree just over the bridge at the Charleston also earned an MBA from UNC Chapel Hill. And over the last several years, I've had the honor of serving in our local governments here in the Low Country. Not loudly, not in a public-facing setting generally, but effectively, and delivering results for the people here in our communities. I've helped some of these communities secure millions to protect our coastline, to expand access to affordable housing, and to plan for critical infrastructure projects that can no longer wait and be sidetracked. I've worked with public officials across the political spectrum with one goal, and that is to complete the mission and deliver results for the people that I have served. Now, that's what public service should look like. But too many elected in office today have lost sight of that. They chase the spotlight. They treat their public offices like a reality TV set. And along the way, they forgot that their jobs are to solve problems and not to create them. And so I'm not running to build a brand, not running to go viral or play a part on that reality TV style of politics that we see all too often. I'm running to do the work. Now, I am a proud Democrat, but let me be very clear. My loyalty is and has always been to the people that I have been called upon to serve. Because the challenges we face, the rising costs, inadequate infrastructure, housing that seems way out of reach for most people, those challenges, they are real. And they show up on your doorstep here in the Low Country. And we don't have time to waste while folks in Washington just want to be performative. Amen. Let's talk briefly about some of these challenges our economy. This administration, its economic policies of broad tariffs, it's not a strategy. It's a tax on working families. It will hammer our port economy, which is critical to our well-being here in the Low Country. It'll drive prices up at the grocery store, squeeze the small businesses and manufacturers that keep South Carolina running. So we don't need bumper sticker economics anymore. We need smart and steady policy that lowers costs and builds long-term growth. And we need to protect what millions of Americans rely on: Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. These are not handouts or giveaways. They are earned promises that all of us have paid into and invested in. And we deserve to keep it. The so-called One Big Beautiful Law that is now in effect is not so beautiful. It is brutal, and it is cruel. It will gut health care for those in our district. It will weaken the safety net that will end up costing taxpayers longer in the long run. All at the expense so that a very select few in this country can benefit on the backs of ordinary people. And so I don't support it, not now, and not ever. There are serious local issues that demand federal attention and investment, like our infrastructure, that holds the Low Country together, that is in desperate need of attention. From Hilton Head to Mount Pleasant, and the fastest growing communities of Berkeley County, and the all too often overlooked rural areas, we need serious investment in our roads, flood mitigation, and our bridges. We need leaders that are going to vote for these things not vote to turn away that money. I've helped lead infrastructure efforts at the local levels, and I'm ready to bring that same experience to Washington. Above all, this campaign is about competence, about dialing down the division, turning down the volume, and focusing on what matters. My friends, public office is not about advancing yourself. It's about serving others. And that's what I did in uniform. That's what I've done in local government. And that's exactly what I'll do in Congress. And you know that because that's what my track record says. So, I served here. I work here. I'm raising a family here. I know this community, and I'm ready to fight for it. Thank you so much. I think now I'll take any questions that there are about this effort from the press.
You mentioned prioritizing local infrastructure like bridges and things like that. Securing funding. How important is that, and what does that look like? If you were to take on this.
It's critical, and there are certain projects that cannot afford to wait any longer. I often use the example of the 278 bridge for Hilton Head, which is the only bridge on and off the island, an island that is home to about 40,000 permanent residents. That bridge has a DOT rating of a 4 out of 10, which means it's in poor condition, which means it's unsafe. And so the longer we wait to address the reconstruction or the construction of a new bridge, the worse off we're going to be. So that requires critical attention, and I couldn't think of a better thing, a local issue that a congressional representative can show leadership on than a project like that.
So during the last election for this seat, Mace won the seat by about 18 points against her Democratic opponent. How do you plan on closing that gap, especially in a mostly red district?
So her Democratic opponent, I think he garnered about 41% of the vote, which means that you need to do about 9% better, right? That's really what you're looking to close the gap by. I think that, look, folks are fed up with the divisive nature of politics. It is not going to serve us in the long run to continue on this path where we just have politicians that are only going to cater to very select groups of people on either side of the fringes of the political spectrum. We need to be focused on these actual issues that are impacting us, impacting all of us. When we talk about storm, flood mitigation, there was millions of dollars in the town of Mount Pleasant, courtesy of the bipartisan infrastructure law and the IRA, that were slated for a drainage project in the old village. And about $8 million was ripped away that town now has to come up with it themselves. Floodwater, stormwater doesn't knock on somebody's door and ask them what their political affiliation is. So we need leaders who are going to address these issues with urgency.
And this district has been kind of redistricted, actually, and giving a little bit more to growing into a larger red district, leading into that direction. Do you think that this can still be flipped, even though there is now even a bigger gap ahead of you?
Absolutely. This district in 2023 was R+8. That was the rating for the district. Last year it was R+7. This year it's R+6. We're trending to it being a true swing district. We get to R+5, it's a swing district. Not only that, but last year this seat wasn't necessarily on the map for many looking to flip it outside of the district. And that's not the case. And so I've spent a lot of time making sure that there is going to be investment for this effort to flip this seat. I'll take it.
Sorry, y'all. So we've seen during the last few months during this administration, a lot of Republicans have sort of left the Republican Party. I've spoken to a few at protests saying, I no longer feel like I belong to the Republican Party. I am now a registered Democrat. With the Democratic Party's tent growing larger, what is your message to those newcomers, and are you trying to get other people to your tent?
Absolutely. I think the Democratic Party is the big tent party. There is a place for you here, and we don't always have to agree. But there is a place for anyone who's looking to join the Democratic Party, who has felt that or feels that the Republican Party has shifted away from them. And let me be honest, that's not to say that there's never room for improvement. There's definitely room for improvement across the political spectrum. And that's why I think it's so important that we elect people who are dedicated to public service so that we get more public service in public offices.
Yeah, buddy.
With that public service background, obviously, graduating from Citadel, being a Coast Guard veteran, not holding a public office per se, how do you think your background and a lot of that work kind of behind the scenes helps you in this position for the 1st Congressional District?
I think it helps tremendously. I mean, part of your job when you are an attorney for local government or government in general, your job is to help that governmental body navigate challenges. So bringing that knowledge, bringing that skill set, having addressed affordable housing. I was just talking to a young man here just a bit ago. He's 17, going on 18. I asked him what's the number one challenge that he thinks about, and he said that his generation thinks that home ownership is really a distant ideal that you can't achieve until you're in your 50s or 60s. And so I've worked on this very issue of affordable housing. And so having people in this seat that can actually deliver results on a significant challenge that we face here in the Low Country, I think would serve the people very well. And there's no set path to public service. There's no set path to the Congress. I think that we should have a wide bench of people in public service from a wide range of different backgrounds, because it adds perspective. And that's just where diversity is created.
It feels like every day here we're seeing a new Democratic candidate for this seat. How are you planning on making yourself stand out, and what is your message to people potential voters?
Well, I'm going to work every day that I can for this seat. I ran last year, came up just under 700 votes short in the primary, despite being outraised and outspent by 2 to 1. So the only thing I can do is run the very best race that I can run and make the case to the people of the 1st District. The rest is up to them.
I can give a question or comment from the floor. I'd just like to say that this is our candidate, and we're going to be behind him 110%. We're not going to have any primaries. That's going to be our candidate right there.
More questions? All right. More questions?
Any more questions? If you'd like to learn more about the campaign, please visit DefordForCongress.com, go to our website, sign up, volunteer, and invest in this effort.